Namaste. Today's session is meant to help you to unwind and restore a little bit. Sometimes, especially when the days are getting shorter, we feel that we have a little less energy. I, for example, had a really hard time to get out of bed this week after the time changed for only 1 hour. So get everything you need. Let me show you. Let's talk about what props you're going to need. You have an eye pillow. You can substitute the eye pillow with a small towel. A simple throw pillow from your couch. One blanket. Doesn't have to be a Mexican blanket. It would be better if it's not a soft blanket, but whatever blanket you have. And a yoga bolster. And you may say, I don't have a yoga bolster at home. So let me show you what you can do if you don't have a yoga bolster. It would be perfect to have a few blankets. That makes it easier. But you can also use a foam roller and roll a blanket or two around a foam roller. If you have a couple blankets, you're just gonna put the blankets on top of each other. And I personally don't like to roll the blankets, so the way I like to do it is unfold it in 1-2 times. And then you see when you compare the two, you have even round about the same height, even round about the same length, and you have created your own bolster. This, if you have soft blankets, this is of course not as supportive, but whatever you have at home. Just inside. And I come closer to the camera before we start with the practice, because we're going to tap this point, kidney 27, this point that really helps you to wake up when you feel a little sluggish, when you maybe go to your coffee machine, get a coffee or a piece of chocolate. And I really can tell you that this point works because on a really long car ride, I was by myself, I got really tired, and I started to massage kidney 27, and it really boosts my energy. It woke me up, and it really helped me to go through the long car ride. Let me just come closer to the camera. So when you go down, not down, you go in your collarbones, then you have this little notch here, and this is your sternum. And in this little corner, collarbone and sternum, right here in the soft part, this is this home of kidney 27. And you just tap it. The breath you're using is in nose, out mouth. Take one more breath. And release. And just notice how you feel. Maybe feel some increased circulation and increased energy flow. And you can do it with one hand. You can tap one point first and then the other point, especially when you're in a car. Let's start with a supported backbend. Take your bolster or your folded or rolled up blankets with a roller. And then sit with your back facing the bolster. You may also need your pillow and slowly lean back over the bolster. You can take the pillow and just shove it underneath your head and neck. So the bottom of your neck is also on the pillow. And then open your arms out to the side. Feel this nice opening. This is sometimes the first pose I do when I go on my yoga bed. You can have the legs bent, heels out, and the inside of your knees touching. And you can straighten the legs and let your legs soften. Take a few deep breaths here. We're opening the front of the body. And if you have, or if you know about the chakras, we are also opening the heart chakra. And I'm going to use a sound to get a little bit more release here in this chest area. And the sound is HA. Means you're inhaling through your nose, exhale with a inhale nose. So the pronunciation is not an A, it's more like this German sound ah. Let's do this 2 more times. Stay for a couple breaths with me in this heart opening pose. Letting the shoulders relax, the elbows soften, and the fingers curl. Slowly roll your kneecaps facing the ceiling. Slide your heels back in. Bring your arms up. Give yourself a whole body stretch. This whole body yawning, moving the body in this joyful ways. Exploring areas you haven't felt yet in your body in this first pose. Slowly shift your hips and roll over to one side of your choice. And get up. We're using the support again. And you may want to use the pillow, so don't get rid of it yet. And you turn the bolster the other way, and we're lying sideways over the bolster. My hips are on the floor, and I'm just having the bolster or connecting the bolster from the rim of my pelvis, wherever it reaches up to. And I like to go down and think about I'm pulling this area over the bolster. And if your shoulders are okay, you just can have your arms straight, like you're framing your head. But if this is not a good fit for you, you could use the pillow either between the arm and the ear and the head, or just the pillow and have the arm straight in front of you. Choose what arm position works best. You also can straighten the legs. Notice you're getting a little bit more kind of shaking, or not really shaking, a little bit more moving, like you're a little bit going back and forth. You also can soften the knees a tiny little bit, so you feel a little bit more stable and balanced. Feel this nice opening along the right side of your body. Let the weight of the opposite side sink into the bolster. And see if you can guide your breath a little bit more into this open side that's facing towards the ceiling. We're also going to use a sound here, and the sound is inhale, exhale, inhale, one more time. slowly release the top arm. Help yourself up. Slowly, don't rush. And let's do it all to the other side. You can just turn around. I'm shifting sides so I can keep on facing towards you. Remember, your hips stay on the floor. And you want to pull, you lengthen this bottom side. And then you come down. And start first by choosing the arm position. Remember that arms can be straight. You can put a pillow between the arm and the head and have the other hand in a more comfortable position where you shouldn't strain your shoulders when you do it. Or you have the pillow underneath your head and this arm straight in front of you. And then see what works best for your legs. Like a micro bend this morning. Still gives me a nice long opening, but also I feel a little bit more supported. Notice the opening along the side that's facing up towards the ceiling. And let the bottom side of your body sink down into the bolster. Notice the breath in the ribcage side that's facing up towards the ceiling. Take a few deep breaths. And maybe you felt this sense of letting go when we use the breath on the other side. That's what not the breath, the sound, sorry, that's what the sound is meant to do. Release a little bit more tension. Let's do the sound again 3 times. The sound of S. Inhale. Slowly release your top arm. And we're coming up to seated position. Slowly, let me just push my mic back in. Maybe notice how nice and open the side body feels now. Let's do a twist. Let's get the legs over to the other side. Legs are facing over to the right side. And you have the bolster oriented towards the left side of your body. I like to call this leg position my mermaid pose because I feel like a little mermaid. When we're having the legs in this position and we're going to add a twist. One important part when we're doing the twist is you're not letting this right hip hang back. So you're going to take this back hip with you into the twist. So just push the bolster a little bit out of the way. We'll get it in and then we see if you may want to use it or not. Take your right hand onto your hip and lift your left arm up. Again, feel this nice length along the left side of your body. Inhale deeply. And exhale, set the left hand down and let this hip come with you facing towards the left. And then plant both hands first onto the floor. You can change the legs a little bit, see what works for you here. I have my lower right leg resting in my inner arch of the left foot. I can feel a little stiffness in my rib cage today, so I may not go deeper. You may want to walk your hands a little bit more over to the left. Find a nice stretch sensation, not too much. And don't round your back. Think about you want to lift your sternum up. Keep a nice long spine. And then if you want, you can use the support and just have your forearms resting on the support. Keeping your spine long. Breathe deeply in and out. Take one more deep breath. And place your hands on the floor. If you've been on your forearms, slowly come up, sit up, and do a little counter movement. And let's sway the legs over to the other side. Take the bolster with you. Get it out of the way first a little bit so you can have the space for your hands. So my legs are over to the left side now. My lower left leg is resting in the inner arch of my right foot. I'm reaching up from my right arm, lengthening and then twisting, and I'm taking this hip with me, taking it with me, not letting it hang back, and first come on to my hands. Sometimes I have to shift my legs here a little, maybe wiggle the hips a little bit. Remember, natural round. Keep your spine long in a neutral pose or neutral position. And this side feels for me a little bit more giving, so I'm walking my hands a little bit more back. Don't lean into your shoulders, lengthen. And then you maybe want to take a bolster and place your forearms on it. Keep your spine long. And you notice when we're twisting, breathing gets a little bit more challenging. So keep breathing deeply in and out, using your breath to create even more space in this twist. Take one more breath. And slowly push yourself up. Walk yourself back. And a little bit of a counter movement. Straighten the legs in front of you and shake your legs off. I hope you already feel a little bit unwinded, a little bit more grounded. Let's do one last standing pose before we're finishing up with the Shavasana. Find your way up to standing. Widen your legs. And make sure when you widen your legs that you turn your heels out a tiny little bit. Have your hands on your groins. I have the bolster in front of me. I want to use it to rest my hands or my forearms on it, or maybe even your head. Inhale the breath. Exhale, let your chin come down and hinge forward from the hips very slowly. And find the bolster. You maybe widen your legs a little bit. You want to have your hands resting on the bolster. I like to have my palms facing up. You also can turn it around and have your forearms on the bolster. Maybe the head is reaching the bolster and you're going to support the hairline on the bolster. Notice what works for you. Always a little dependent what time of the day you practice. For me it's morning time, so I feel a little stiffer in my body. If you maybe do the work during the day, you feel a little bit more, and they make a little bit more open. And towards the end of the day, I always like to do less on purpose. Even from the body, I could do a little bit more. I like to do a little bit less. Let your head soften, relax your jaw. Legs are completely straight. Pull the muscles to the bone. Let your sit bones float up. Take one more deep breath. And then slowly come back up into your hands. Heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. Engage your core. Come up to stand. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands down in front of the heart. Let's come down onto the floor. You need a pillow. You need a blanket, and you need an eye pillow. If you have the blankets folded, like I showed you, now you want to open it up and you roll the blankets. So you have a nice roll to support the back of the knees. I like this better than the flat bolster. If you have a flat bolster, you may want to turn it around so you support the back of the knees and not so much the back of your upper leg. Also, when I do Shavasana with a pillow, I like to have the pillow pointing between my shoulder blades. If the pillow is soft, you even can fold in the corners of the pillow a little bit. But my pillow won't do it. It's very stiff, so I have to keep it like this. But if you pull the corners in, what it does, depends on you. If you have a very soft pillow, it helps to bring your chin down and lift the forehead up, and this sends a relaxation response to your nervous system. Come down and bring the back of your knees onto the roll. Take another blanket and cover yourself up, or put socks on and a nice sweater. Come down on your forearms. Make sure the back of your knees is still supported. Inhale the breath. Exhale, slowly set your back body down. Remember, with a pillow, the back of your neck, where C7 meets, where your cervical spine, the bottom part C7 meets T1, the thoracic spine, this little bump. You have this supported on the pillow, and then if you have glasses, you take your glasses off, and then you cover your eyes either with an eye pillow or with a small towel. I have to scooch over a little bit on my side. So I have my hands on the yoga mat. I personally don't like if one hand is dropping down the edge and the other hand is still on the yoga mat. The nervous system likes balance. And the little things that we do differently, especially in Shavasana, right and left, they send a message to the nervous system, and it's harder or challenging to relax because it keeps our sensations out, noticing, sensing the different position. Feel the back of your knees supported, feel your head supported, feel your eyes are closed, notice the darkness. Inhale deeply, exhale, and just settle into a moment of being still with me. I'm checking the time. I'm here. I'm going to be still with you together. But you hear my voice when it's time to get out of the pose. Make sure you're completely comfortable lying on the floor. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Invite any movement that feels right for your body. Maybe you do this stretching, this whole body yawning, finding how this helps, or noticing how this helps to wake your body up. With your next exhale, turn your kneecaps facing the ceiling and slide your heels back in. You can set your feet on the support, the rolled blankets or your yoga bolster, and see what movement comes from here. Maybe another stretch. Maybe you want to pull your knees into your chest. Maybe windshield wipering the legs from side to side. And then turn on your side. Stay there for at least 2 breaths. And slowly come back up to a seated pose. Pose of your choice. Doesn't have to be crisscross-legged. Can be kneeling, sitting on a nearby chair, or with your legs straight in front of you. Connect with the fingertips right and left. And even if you cannot reach the floor, just think about connecting to the supporting energy of the earth. And then reach your arms up, inhale. Palms facing down, and you push down in front of your body. The idea of pushing down too much energy, we still have circulating in the head and heart space. And we bring it down. Do this again, inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, the arms go inhale up. Exhale, push down. Bring one hand on the heart center and the other hand just into your lower belly. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I would love to hear if the sequence helped you to unwind, to restore a little bit. Always allow yourself, if you come back to the video, to bring a timer with you. And we've been around 5 minutes in Shavasana only. So set yourself a timer and give yourself spacious 20 minutes after the practice to stay on the floor and to relax. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and again, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you.